Hi everyone, back with another review, and this will be another long-term one. So long-term in fact that I'm not entirely sure I can really still speak about how the piece was in its original state. We'll get to that. First though, the formalities out of the way as per usual. So the general structure will as always be that I will have my talking bit in the beginning, then there will be a picture with the stats, some more pictures of the piece, and in the end a clip with some sparring so you can actually see me use it. There will be timestamps to all those steps in the video, so should you want to jump around, feel free to do so. Also, though, here it feels a bit weird to say so, Armour Class was not aware that there was going to be a review and I paid for this full price. Now, the reason why I say it feels a bit weird is that this here is an Armour Class Dragoon that I got when I ordered it in 2010, if I remember correctly, and I got it in 2011. So this has been with me for quite a while, really, and has survived a lot. Which basically, just like a lot of things I usually talk in my reviews, don't really apply that much anymore. Ordering process, for example. Back in the day, what I did was write Ian an email and just said that I wanted the Armour Class Dragoon, but please with what was then called like a semi-sharp, because dedicated HEMA blades weren't really that much of a thing. It was more either you get it sharp or you get reenactment. Reenactment far too thick, really, for HEMA purposes. Sharp, of course, not really an option. I think the original edge thickness was about 1.2-ish millimeters, around that. And yeah, then it was basically just confirming the order by email, and I think, I don't know if I paid up front or paid him when it was done. Took a while, as I said, ordered 210, got it in 2011, but it made it to me. And this might actually be, after my first saber, the second sword I ever really bought. And of all the swords I have, and no, it's one or two, this is probably the one I really fenced with most throughout my whole career. And as I said, it's been through a lot. So, stats as the piece is now, because it has changed a bit over its considerable lifetime. The overall length is about 102 centimeters, that is including the pommel, of course. The blade is 85.5 centimeters. The grip is 11.5 centimeters. The basket is made out of 3mm material, and it's about 12 centimeters wide. One thing I really do like about Armour Class basket hilts is that the basket is reasonably big. It's not ginormous, which you sometimes see, which is always a bit of a shame, I find. At the time it weighs 1,105 grams, so 1.1 kilos basically, and the POB is at about 7 centimeters at this point from the cross. And when it comes to taper, it basically starts at 3 centimeters and then it's fairly linear-ish down to 2.2 in the middle about, and then 1.8 at the end before it goes down to the rounded tip, no thickening or anything. And at the back the blade is also fairly linear. It's 5 millimeters and then goes down to 4 millimeters in the middle, and then it's like 3.5, 4-ish millimeters. Something under 4, I said 3 in the measurements. It is stiffer than it was when I got it because the blade profile changed a bit over time, but it is still fairly reasonably flexible. to the point where it earned the nickname Old Sir Wobbleton. If you put it down on a body weight scale now and press down until you see like a light bend start forming, then it's at 3.4 kilograms roundabout. Really makes it a fairly nice and safe sword in thrusting. Now the reason I keep saying that as of now, at the moment, profile changed is that this sword has been back with Armour Class 2 times for refurbishment. The first time I just needed the blade straightened because just over time it just took a set to the side. That just can happen. It was straightened out and works perfectly fine again, so that's good. Also, the basket has been dished out back into shape again. I've actually done that myself as well a few times, especially here with the back bit. That just, if you get a strong cut over the blade, that is just the one that's going to catch it, and that just gets hammered down over time. But, you know, put it in a vise, hammer it back, voila. The second time, and I think that was because I fought against a longsword, was that it actually broke here at the end of the cross, and I think this bit here. And again, send it back, blade was reground, and it was reshaped and just basically put together, and it's working fine again now, strong as ever. But because of that, just the blade is thinner than it originally was, and it handles a bit differently. It definitely didn't start out at 1.1 kilograms. I think it was somewhat over 1.2, if I remember correctly. And I remember it being a bit more wobbly. It's still quite flexible, and it really punishes parrying with the flat out of accident, actually. That just won't do, which is a nice reminder, generally, really. So it's by now, from the handling, I would say it's like more of a regimental broadsword, a bit more on the nimble side, which actually for me is really good, because it's what I do is art of defense, and for that is really quite a good sword. I have the 3/4 basket version. That was just what the model was. You can get it as a full basket if you ask. That's not a problem at all. I've seen those and they're quite lovely. Still fence it with both hands, really, because I mean then it basically just turns into kind of like a half basket, and that still works out perfectly fine. And yeah, as I said, it's a sword I just really liked. I fenced it in competitions and just in training really regularly. One thing I do like about Armour Class swords is that they are tough, I would say. The basket will bend, definitely, and you know, it will burr. You will get nicks in the blade, but they survive a lot. And if they break, which takes a lot to get them to do, or what will happen, just more often that they bend, you can fix it. As I said, I've hammered this back into shape a number of times already. And it's still with me, really, through all these years. By now, of course, from Armour Class you can get dedicated blades for HEMA, which are a bit more purpose-built, really, and from what I have heard, are really good. So that is probably what I would get now. But just as an, you know, as a judgment of how their stuff holds up over time, as I said, 2011 to 2022, it's been with me a long time, and I really appreciate it for that. And honestly, I think it will be with me for a good while longer still. I don't see it breaking anytime soon. At least not. And, you know, I mean, it can of course always happen. Swords are, especially our trainers for HEMA, are after all, as we say in German, Gebrauchsgegenstände. They are objects to be used, and at some point they will give out, but I think it's got a good amount of life left in it still, really. I enjoy fencing with it. Unfortunately now with Brexit, at least from mainland Europe, It's a bit, well, taxes and everything, but if you have the opportunity to get an Armour Class, just basket hilt for, be it Highland Broadsword or just general broadsword or Art of Defense, I can recommend them. I have 4 swords, I think. I have a Glasgow hilt in the back there, and I have a hanger, shorter one from them. And at some point I will have to review the custom built Spadroon that I have. I'll have to get to that. And they all have held up great. So, nice weapon to spar with, safe for the partner, and they take a lot of punishment. So, recommendation, I really love mine. Cheers.
Ich habe eine Handhänge geblieben. Schön. Auch hier. Hier drüber. Ja. Okay. Ich bin auch so vom Gesicht gesehen. Flach sein können. Oder? Alle. Oder? Alle. Oder? Alle. Obrigado. Grazie. Allez. Oh, grazie. Allez. 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 Regarde. Allez.